Guys, I have to admit to you, I am getting absolutely restless in anticipation of the NFL draft. And so I did something that I've never really toyed around with before because I do now have PFF. And I wanted to simulated about 15 different first rounds and how they went. And I wanted to relay three picks that were maybe off the wall, maybe unanticipated, but I do believe are possibilities if these players are there. And I want to start here with Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. So you're looking at a guy who is a shade under 6'6". I think he's 6'5" and 7/8, something like that, but essentially 6'6", 248 pounds, 32 and 3/4 inch arms, projected to run a 4.70 40-yard dash, did not do any testing really to speak of. So he's letting his tape speak for himself. And look, that's probably a decent decision. I would have loved to see some of those numbers out of him, but I think he is just standing on the reputation that he has managed to build. Why would the Kansas City Chiefs waste a first-round pick on a tight end when they have obviously a first-ballot Hall of Famer in Travis Kelce for one more year, probably? They have Noah Gray, who has been good for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they have Jared Wiley, who missed a good portion of the rookie year, but he does look like he has the tools to be a starting level tight end in the NFL. Well, because there's no projection necessary with Colston Loveland, he is a number one tight end at the NFL level. He would have 1 year to learn under the tutelage of Travis Kelce, show him the ropes. What's it mean to be a tight end in the NFL? Maybe no hand gestures behind referees' backs that become gifs that are all-timers on the Twitter machine. But other than that, Travis Kelce has a lot to share with a Colston Loveland type. It would give 5 years to the organization in order to build up this tight end to be the guy. But here's the really interesting thing about this. So I'm a big believer in Jared Wiley. I think that he can be a starting level tight end in the NFL. Didn't show any of that as a rookie, but look, sometimes you don't. Travis Kelce didn't. Obviously, Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce, and Noah Gray proved me wrong last season. But Patrick Mahomes has never been without Travis Kelce. His entire career, Patrick Mahomes has had a big, reliable tight end to whom he could throw the ball and get first downs. He's always had that. Guys, Travis Kelce retires after next season. There's no guarantee. There is absolutely no guarantee there. So will Colston Loveland come in and be Travis Kelce? I'm not making that claim. But the Kansas City Chiefs might do their best in order to sort of make sure that they have a suitable replacement for Travis Kelce. Now, the number 2 name on this list, Kevin Winston Jr., safety out of Penn State, listed at 6'2", 215 pounds here. I have seen him 6'1", 208, between 6'1", 208 and 6'2", 215, 32.5-inch arms, 4.5 40-yard dash at the pro day. I don't think I have to relay that drafting a defensive back in the first round is a possibility here. The Chiefs, Brett Veach in particular, seems to really value defensive backs. He went overboard on defensive backs just a few seasons ago and ended up getting Trent McDuffie, an all-pro type level corner, Jalen Watson, a starting level corner, Brian Cook, a starting level safety, and Najee Johnson, a number 4 type corner, all in the same draft, 2 in the same round, the 7th round, by the way. So the Chiefs have prospered since that draft. the Chiefs have been able to play whatever defensive schemes they want because they have an abundance, an embarrassment of wealth at the defensive back positions. Now, last season they struggled a little bit because of some injuries and whatnot, but even then, Najee Johnson is a good, in my opinion, number 4 type cornerback in the NFL. He had to play number 2 corner. The Chiefs have gone to 3 consecutive Super Bowls. They have absolutely eaten, if you will, with those defensive backs in tow. And I don't think that Brett Veach has yet found I think he has found him. I think he found a very good safety last year, but I don't think that he hit in Hicks, but I don't think that he has really unleashed Hicks yet. I don't think Hicks has really shown what it is that he can do. And Brian Cook, though I think he's a starting level safety, doesn't look to be anything particularly special. And the Chiefs have, even with safeties on the field, even with Justin Reed on the team, kept putting picks into the safety position. So I don't think there's any reason to think that that will stop. Well, what if they do land a big-time starting level safety in the NFL draft? I think that is absolutely what could happen with Kevin Winston here. Now, not one of the bigger names at the safety position, so it might be a little bit of a stretch, but I do think that he can do all of the things that are required inside of a Steve Spagnuolo defense. And then finally, Jaden Higgins, the only guy on this list that's done any type of testing. There are really strange coincidences that pop up in the draft. There are really strange trends that will pop up in the draft. One thing that I've noticed this season, this pre-draft season, is that the conversation circling Jaden Higgins is very reminiscent. Now, around Jaden Higgins, not around Jaden Higgins' tools. Around Jaden Higgins is very reminiscent of the conversation that was circling around Ricky Pearsall last pre-draft season. What happened with Ricky Pearsall? He ended up being a first-round pick after everyone was saying he looks kind of like a third-round guy that would be an absolute steal in the third round. One of these guys, if he's there in the third, you take him, right? That's what we kept hearing about Jaden Higgins. And then it became, well, he's got the measurables to be a solid second-rounder. And then, and that's what it was with Pearsall, too. He's got a lot of those tools that you see often go in the second round. And then it became, well, there's some teams with needs at the end of the first round. There's some teams with needs at the beginning of the second round. There's some teams that could probably trade up. Ricky Pearsall ended up going 31st overall last year, the same place the Kansas City Chiefs draft this year. 6'4", Jaden Higgins is, 214 pounds, with 33 1/8 inch arms, 80-inch wingspan, a 4.47 40-yard dash, not blazing, but that is absolutely within the realm of what will get you paid in the NFL, and a 1.53 10-yard split. That's a pretty good 10-yard split. A 39-inch vertical. We have seen Brett Veach put an emphasis on vertical leaps for wide receivers, not necessarily so they can high point the ball, but it just shows what kind of explosive athlete they are. But it's not just a vertical leap for Jaden Higgins. It is also a broad jump of 128 inches. Now, the 3-cone drill, the short shuttle numbers in the 30th percentiles, but like I often say, a lot of times the guys who end up doing the 3-cone drill and the short shuttle are guys that are going to absolutely slay it, and that's why they do it. And if you're not going to absolutely murder the drill, you don't do it because it says so much about your upside on the football field. So a lot of guys skip those drills, which throws off the percentiles when you're talking about how good someone is at the drill. Jaden Higgins, not Luther Burden. He's not Tetaroa McMillan. he's not Emeka Egbuka. All three of these guys we have seen fall to the Kansas City Chiefs in the past few weeks in mock drafts here or there. Tetero and McMillan would be absolutely wild, but he's not any of those guys. But he is a guy that could be a solid X in the NFL. He is a guy that once Rashee Rice returns from injury, Rashee Rice would be freed up to do a lot of the other stuff in the offense. You want to keep running your X receiver on those mid-range routes? Well, then Rashee Rice can be the guy that he was as a rookie and just take the ball at the line of scrimmage and try to push people out of the way. It's a Jaden Higgins would be an untraditional pick for an Andy Reid offense. Jaden Higgins would be an untraditional pick for the sort of verts offense that I think Patrick Mahomes wants to get back to running. But he is a guy that could make those offenses run better, simply because if you have him on the field, you're able to free up all of those other guys to move around. Well, the Chiefs already have wide receivers. The Chiefs have wide receivers that fit better into their offense. Why do they need Jaden Higgins? Well, Rashee Rice, I think we're all still under the impression, is going to miss some time this season. Hollywood Brown missed all of last season. And Xavier Worthy is still 127 pounds. So that's a concern. We saw it with Tank Dell this past season. I hope nothing like that happens. But when you are that size, the probability goes up, right? So the Chiefs do have wide receivers. The Chiefs had wide receivers last year until they didn't. So anyway, guys, these are three untraditional type of picks that I thought, hey, I will make a video out of this because it just sort of, the first round can be wild. But if you like or appreciate this sort of thing, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.